When the Las Vegas Raiders went on to play the Tennessee Titans in Week 3, I was excited because I had both my teams coming off losses in the Las Vegas Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. I was really hoping, I was praying for a good game for both and hopefully a win in Week 3 for both teams. My Vikings delivered, looking 2-1 and looking to get it done. Hopefully we'll see what happens. But my Raiders, I got to be real with you, this was rough against the Titans. There were so many things, especially as we cover all of them here in our latest edition of Standouts and FIZZOUTS, because everybody's got their own edition of winners and losers, or risers and fallers. Ours is Standouts and FIZZOUTS because pop, or soda, whatever you want to call it. Let us know what you guys drink down in the description below, whether it's, Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, even like, what is it, that Great Value Diet Dr. Thunder or whatever. It's good stuff. But anyway, we really got to touch on a lot here when we talk about this game. So we'll jump right into it here. So, yes, the Raiders moved to 0-3 and the Titans collect their first win of the season. I'm not going to lie to you. This one hurt because the Titans were reeling. You had a quarterback in Ryan Tannehill who was kind of on his feet there. You were hoping that you were going to be able to catch him sleeping there. Malik Willis, was looking like maybe he might play a little bit in Week 3. We didn't know there, but nope, this was not it. This was not the game that the Raiders needed to be able to get back into it, and I'm hoping that they can figure it out still, but this was rough. But Deborah Carr, who I did not think was the problem. In fact, I think he's our first standout. Here's why. Deborah Carr finished 26 of 44 for 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Now, the pick, I don't necessarily put on him because, Strong that got a hand on it for the Titans, but also I think Darren Waller should have came up with that one, but it is what it is at that point. Also, Darren Waller, definitely a fizz out. We'll get to him a little bit later, but standouts, it's definitely Deborah Carr here. I felt he put that team in a position to win despite some of the play calling that was going on, especially late in the game there for the Raiders. And he was a big reason, like I said, that they were in the game. And he really, to me, was not the reason that they were in a position to lose in any way. Honestly, arguably, the standout number one for the Raiders is Matt Collins. We're talking about a guy that, we all kind of knew, or thought at least, that Devonte Adams was going to be that number one guy. But Matt Collins, he might be making more of a case to be more of a number one than Devonte Adams right now. 8 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown. Had that nails catch late in the fourth quarter to keep the Raiders in it. And obviously, yes, you can see that the Raiders were starting to target Terrence Mitchell there, and we'll get into that in just a second. But Matt Collins was a man that could not be stopped, and he definitely needs to be able to be a bigger part of this Raiders offense moving forward, because I think he's going to be a bad man, especially with all these other weapons that are around him. So I think that he needs to be a big part of this offense moving forward. Another standout for me definitely was Max Crosby. Had that big sack for the Raiders late in the game. Other than that, it was kind of a quiet day from the Raiders pass rushers. They're definitely fizz out, so we'll talk about them in just a moment here. But, Max Crosby, to me, really played a solid game. Yes, being that leader on defense, being that guy that we said he needed to be, and getting that key clutch play for the Raiders late in that game. Josh Jacobs ran the ball very effectively for the Raiders, finding a way to be able to get it done. Brandon Bolden also added a couple of nice things there. Foster Moreau, 3 catches, 44 yards. Devonte Adams, 5 catches, 36 yards and a touchdown. He's still a fez out for me, and we'll talk a little bit about why. Defensively, it was hard to find standouts. Other than Max Crosby, Rocky Ya-Sin was in there for some plays. Obviously, yes, Duron Harmon had that pick as well. But overall, it was tough. I guess maybe you can extend the olive branch to Duron Harmon being a standout on defense. But other than that, it wasn't pretty. It absolutely was not pretty, to be honest with you. Daniel Carlson was also clearly a winner, or a standout, just continuing to do his thing. But it is absolutely rough when, your team needs touchdowns, especially late in the game, and it is what it is. Fizz outs, the D-line, other than Max Crosby, because you saw that first screen there to Derrick Henry, the entire D-line was in the backfield. Nobody stopped to think, hey, maybe, this wasn't supposed to be that easy. And it was the fact that Derrick Henry was able to turn it up into a big gain, despite the fact that he almost dropped that ball, by the way. It's frustrating. This D-line needs to get it together for the Raiders. They've got too many good players to be able to be playing like this. First quarter play calling for the Raiders too. I just felt like you saw that Matt Collins was your hot hand to start out with, and you went away from him. I know you're trying to spread out the ball a little bit, but if a guy's balling, you got to be able to give him the football. Also, Chandler Jones, definitely a fizz out for me. just watch any tape on him. I stand by that. Like, he just looks lethargic. He does not look like he's ready to go out there and dominate as a pass rusher for any NFL team right now. Like, he just looks sluggish. He looks lethargic. He does not look ready to be able to take over. And it's heartbreaking because I thought he still had a lot left in the tank. I think he still does, but he definitely needs to put some strong performances together. Jonathan Abram. So I have been on the Jonathan Abram train for a long time here. I have said that this man has not in any way to me proven that he was worthy of being a former first-round pick. Like, it baffles me. This guy, he is a solid tackler when he's got to beat on a defender. But, he let up that long catch and run by Hilliard, that was like 30 yards there. They had him on 3rd and 9 there in the second half. They needed that play, and a guy like Jonathan Abram was not able to come up with it for him. So countless other plays, he's out of position in coverage. It's tough. Jonathan Abram is a good football player, but his strength is not in coverage. He needs to be more of an in-box safety that makes plays, and definitely needs some help over the top if there's going to be guys that he is going to be covering, to be honest with you. Devon Diablo, he had a tough time getting off blocks. There were a couple times where Derrick Henry was able to get to the second level, no problem. Yes, the defensive line could have helped it out with that, but at the same time, Devon Diablo needs to be able to get off blocks. That's just what it is. Darren Waller, you dropped that, probably would have been a touchdown there in the game. What was it, the third quarter? You're down by, 2 scores or something like that. Your team needs you as a leader for him. Only finished the game with, I believe, 3 catches for 22 yards. And it wasn't the performance we wanted, but I guess it was the performance that we got. But overall, I do think that he was definitely a fizz out. He got paid big money before week 1, and we need to make sure that I want him to earn it. I think he is a very good football player, but especially late in the game like that, your team needs you. You need to be able to come up that play. Devonte Adams, definitely another fizz out. Devonte Adams, to me, these last 2 weeks, he just has not stood out versus the Cardinals or the Titans. He needs to be that number 1 wide receiver, and it's not all on him. I will say again, there needs to be screens. There needs to be more passes long, more plays called for his number. Excuse me, as I try to figure out talking for the rest of this episode. But I felt like Devonte Adams is a very good player. Clearly, he's a superstar, and I think some of the plays that the Raiders are drawing up for him, they may not be best suited for him, to be perfectly honest for you. As far as the Titans stand out, Derrick Henry did his thing. He was a guy that just found a way to get it done. Actually, let's talk about some of the defensively. Max Crosby led the way with 9 tackles. Rocky Ya-Sin 6 tackles, as well as John Brown had 5 tackles there. Devon Diablo added 7 as well, and then we'll go over here to the Titans to let you guys see that. But Ryan Tannehill wasn't, to me, he wasn't a fizz out, but he also wasn't a standout, if that makes sense. Like, Ryan Tannehill did just enough to be able to, push off the Malik Willis rumors for a week, maybe. He finished 19 of 27 for 264, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So, you know what? He at least pushed him off for another week, got him their first win of the season. But I don't know. Malik Willis still is looking better and better to me. Derrick Henry, 20 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Also, Dontrell Hilliard. I mean, they had that really long pass catch, that 30-yard pass catch, and then also had a couple of nice carries for the Titans as well. So, it is what it is. Ryan Tannehill also added a touchdown on the ground. Like I said, he did just enough to be able to push that off for the time being. But overall, another standout. Robert Woods had that nice punt return, also had a couple of nice catches. Kevin Strong had that key pass deflection there that I think it was him, and also it was a combination of Darren Waller not coming down with it there, which led to the Kevin Byard interception there. And yes, he is definitely a standout for that interception. It was a nice play. And then also Dylan Cole had that 2-point conversion deflection late in the game to kind of seal it for the Titans. So you do love to see that. You do love to see that defense standing up for the Titans and doing a lot of different things. And like we mentioned, Robert Woods, 4 catches, 85 yards. Derrick Henry, most of those yards, of those 50 receiving yards on 5 catches, coming from that very nice screenplay that he had. Roger McCreary, 10 tackles. Terrence Mitchell, 8 tackles, but most of those were because, Matt Collins was just mossing this dude the entire game. Monty Hooker, also a player that had 6 tackles, but I think he'll actually be the perfect player. Rashad Weaver, also a standout, had a nice sack there for the Titans as well. But Monty Hooker, I think you start out with the fizz outs for me because you had a huge Huge helmet-to-helmet, or what was it, unnecessary roughness penalty or something on that, like that, on Darren Waller. I think it was late in the game there that kind of got the Raiders back into it a little bit. So Trailon Brooks, definitely another fizz-out guy that had that. Yes, he had a nice 13-yard catch, which set up that touchdown for the Titans, but also at the same time, he had that key drop on fourth down that kept the Raiders in it as well. So I'm waiting to see some more from the former Arkansas product. Christian Fulton, man, oh man, he got beat on that Matt Collins bomb. It was rough there, which again got the Raiders back into it. And then Terrence Mitchell, like we touched on, you got to be able to, the Raiders were definitely targeting him there on that last drive because nobody could stop Matt Collins, which is exactly what you want play callers to do. If they see a weak link, they attack it, and that's what I was really excited to see for the Raiders. But that's it. Those are our standouts and fizzouts. Who did we miss? Who didn't we miss? Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else that you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below. Also, put in the comment section down below what you guys drink for pop. Just let us know, or soda, pop or soda, what you guys drink, and also let us know what you guys think about the matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Tennessee Titans.